we've got you here today because you've got some last-minute deals and gadgets.
Yeah, so I always put together my favorite gadgets of the year. Last week we did for the kids. Today we've got the best gadgets for moms. I've got some cool stuff in there, and best gadgets for dads also coming up a little bit later in the show.
We're going to need to hear about that. All right, we do have some politics, though, to get to because it was the last stop last night for President-elect Trump in Mobile, Alabama on his thank you tour, and it was a really rainy night. He had a little bit of fun with that, saying he's going to hell with the suit. We're just going to keep it on. I'll get rid of it anyway after this.
And also, this was the spot, of course, you'll recall that when he launched his campaign, everyone was wondering during the primaries, why are you spending time in Alabama? It's not on the primary map. What are you doing there? But he had that massive crowd, and he said it all started here.
He did.
It did. And he had Jeff Sessions there last night, just like Jeff Sessions was there pretty much from the beginning. And it was like the other events. He talked about what he's going to do. He recounted election night. He talked about political correctness, and we want to say made in the USA, and we want to say Merry Christmas, and we're going to say man of the year, all the things that we've been covering. But he also made mention of an attack that has been leveled against him by a columnist at the New York Times. We'll put the tweet up actually right now. This is Paul Krugman, a columnist and economist, that tweeted this just yesterday. He said, thought there was, quote, rightly a cloud of illegitimacy over Bush, meaning he didn't win the election, dispelled wrongly by 9/11. So the country united behind him after 9/11 creates some interesting incentives for Trump.
So what does that mean? Like, hey, stoke some fires around the world and able to have the country unite around you, start a war, so we'll unite around you. Well, this, of course, incensed Mr. Trump yesterday in Mobile, Alabama, and he responded this way.
And it's going to start to pour. I will stay out here. The hell with the suit, right? I never liked this suit anyways. They had a clown today in the failing New York Times who said that I wanted to have another World Trade Center catastrophe because it's good for my base. Can you believe this? What kind of a demented person would say that? No, think of it. Thousands of people killed. And this guy is demented. He's a demented person. And that's why the Times is failing. And I went up to see him 3 weeks ago. I gave it a shot. And I had a great meeting. Everybody said I did great. Everything was great. But they'll never change. They'll never change, Jeff, no matter what you do.
And it's personal for him. Of course, you remember during the primary, he was the one who came out defending New York when Ted Cruz, was sort of mocking New York City or New York. And he said, look, the most patriotic city in the country. I lost friends on 9/11. Don't speak badly about my. So for him to be, it's very personal.
Such a personal and
to say you're going to try to do this in order to unite the country. It's ridiculous.
Such an emotional memory for so many people. It was a demented thing for him to say. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that meeting 3 weeks ago when obviously President-elect Trump was trying to sort of make amends, see if they could develop any sort of friendship moving forward. Clearly, that's not going to happen.
No, and he said it right. They're not going to change. So the New York Times pretended to apologize for their extremely biased coverage. Their biased coverage has completely continued. And then you've got columnists literally saying not just something would benefit Mr. Trump, but that he would start something in order to create an opportunity to raise his ratings. I mean, that is a demented thought. And the fact that someone would say that, get away with it, I'm glad Trump is slamming him this way.
Yeah, when I think about being un-American, that comment right there is the worst of it. I mean, you cannot get lower than that when you think about how many lives were lost, how our nation changed on 9/11 forever, and to bring this back to that and to almost say that President-elect Trump is hoping for this to happen to help his approval ratings, that's sick. That is sick, Clayton.
Right, exactly. Right. Whatever our political differences, no president or no president-elect would ever want something like that on the American soil ever again. Meanwhile, Michelle Obama the other day, we played a clip of her the other day talking to Oprah. And if you missed it, she was talking about what it looks like as hope in this country right now. Oprah asked her, do you think you achieved hope and change? And she thinks that we've lost some hope. Listen.
Your husband's administration, everything, the election was all about hope. Do you think that this administration achieved that?
Yes, I do. Because we feel the difference now.
Yeah.
See, now we're feeling what not having hope feels like. Hope is necessary. It's a necessary concept. Yeah. And Barack didn't just talk about hope because he thought it was just a nice slogan to get votes. I mean, he and I and so many believe that what else do you have if you don't have hope?
Now, remember what Michelle Obama said and Hillary Clinton said, when they go low, we go high.
Right.
It didn't really seem like they're going high. But here's what Mr. Trump had to say in response to the First Lady yesterday.
Michelle Obama said yesterday that there's no hope. But I assume she was talking about the past, not the future, because I'm telling you, we have tremendous hope, and we have tremendous promise and tremendous potential. We are going to be so successful as a country again. This country has such potential. You watch. It's going to be so special. Things are going to happen like you haven't seen happen in many, many decades.
I mean, you see the people behind him and these crowds that show up for his rallies. They very much seem to have a lot of hope for the future. And we had someone on earlier in the show, Kyle Beeman, who was an employee at Rexnord, and we asked him how he's feeling, if he had hope, and here's what he told us.
The First Lady's entitled to her opinion. I know the campaign was hope and change. We've seen a lot of hope. We've seen a lot of change, and that being American workers' jobs are being outsourced to other countries. So I'm not going to down the First Lady. She's entitled to her opinion. But right now, I'm one of the ones that's living on hope.
On hope right now, whether or not his job will also go overseas like the Carrier employees did. And then, of course, Donald Trump came in and made that deal to save some of those jobs. And for Christmas.
Exactly. Well, think about it. I mean, they go low, we go high comment. They went low, and Trump went high, as did this employee. They didn't want to bash the First Lady. They just said, hey, listen, hope can come in different forms. It's not just a campaign slogan. It's a job that arrives. It's a border that's secure. It's cops that police your streets. And that really matters. So I'm sick and tired of being told that the country is only good if Barack Obama is president. Remember, this is the same First Lady that told us it was the first time she was proud of her country. Now, is she not proud of the country anymore?
But
because now her husband isn't
I would like
president?
her to clarify, though. Maybe she means that, hey, look, we are divided right now, and this is what having no hope feels like. We're all divided, but we need to come together. Maybe.
But also, what is the role of the First Lady? I mean, I don't think we've ever seen a First Lady in the past say these sorts of things about the incoming administration.
Good point, yeah.
There's sort of a way that a First Lady should graciously handle these things. You pass off the torch. You let them do what they're going to do. That's the role of the First Lady. So I haven't really seen this in the past.
That's a great point. And that's, I think, what Trump was saying from the podium is, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
We had a good meeting. I liked her.
I don't want to get in the mud on that. I want to move forward. I hope that the Obamas will actually take a little bit of Trump's advice and let him be president of the United States, because the electors are going to meet tomorrow and they're going to elect him president of the United States.
Yeah, and the country needs that coming together right now. You know what else brings the country together, Clayton?
Yes, Christmas music. I want to start Christmas music like right around Halloween time because I get so excited about it. And so early this morning, we're asking you for some of your favorite Christmas songs. Mine is Wham's Last Christmas. What is your favorite Christmas song?
Well, it's an Aaron Neville classic. I don't know if we've got it queued up or not, but you do. Can you play it? Just start playing.
What is this one?
Let's play Abby's first.
Mine
What's yours?
I really can't stay.
Oh, baby, it's called I love just playing the Wham Christmas song just to get under Rick's skin a little bit.
I know
Rick,
sound.
Rick, I'm sorry. You're embarrassed for it this morning. I know.
You have no. It's very hard to embarrass Rick, as I've known for many years.
This is true.
I know.
No shame.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
There's a few of them. I don't know if they have this one. I just told them. Nobody knows this one.
Hamilton and Madison warned us about. This is the emergency they built the Electoral College for, and it is our constitutional duty and our moral responsibility to put the emergency measures into action. If only 37 Republican electors change their vote, Donald Trump will not have the 270 electoral votes he needs to be president.
If only 37 changed their vote. That's a video from the so-called Hamilton electors who plan to vote against President-elect Trump this Monday. But it's a last-ditch effort that, according to one judge, could be considered a crime. So joining us now is Colorado delegate and member of the so-called Hamilton electors, Polly Baca. Polly, so you're a Democrat. You're an elector for Hillary Clinton because you won the state of Colorado. But you're gonna go against the law and not vote for her on Monday. To what end?
I don't know what I'm going to do Monday. I may vote for Secretary Clinton, or I may vote for a Republican that 37 Republican electors would want me to vote for.
But the Constitution and our laws and everything dictate that you are bound to vote for Hillary Clinton, but you've decided you're going to reject that.
No, I haven't made that decision.
You haven't. So you don't know yet whether you're going to commit a crime. You just might commit a crime.
The state of Colorado has a law. There are 28 states that do have laws that bind the electors, but not all the states do. And I would encourage Republicans in those states that don't have laws like we do in Colorado to let me know what they would like me to vote for.
And so your hope is that
through
voting for Hillary Clinton or voting for another Republican that you can reject and defeat Donald Trump. Are there 37 other electors out there, these so-called Hamilton electors? Because news reporting shows that there's one Republican who maybe is wavering, but no others. So how do you get to the number that you supposedly think you can get to?
We talk to the electors and see if they will put country before party.
Well, have you talked to electors who you think are going to reject Donald Trump? Because we're not hearing about them.
I personally have not, but others have.
Okay, so this is sort of a hope strategy. Are you hoping to delegitimize Mr. Trump?
It's not a matter of delegitimizing anyone. It's a matter of following our Constitution and voting for a president who does not have obligations or is not influenced by foreign powers, or who is qualified.
So you believe that Mr. Trump is influenced by foreign powers. Do you also think that he would start a war to raise his polling numbers like Paul Krugman?
No, I don't believe that. But I do believe that he is indebted to the Russians in particular, and perhaps other countries.
But you do know Loretta Lynch, our own Attorney General under President Obama, rejected that idea and said there isn't evidence of that.
I don't know that. I haven't seen his taxes. I think if we ever see his taxes, we'll be able to tell.
Now we need to see his. Now we're talking about his taxes. So what's going to happen tomorrow when this vote happens? Is Donald Trump going to be president of the United States?
I wish I could predict what was going to happen tomorrow. I can't predict that.
I can predict it, and I think the Electoral College is probably going to do its duty and elect Donald Trump. But folks, we'll see what folks like you do. Any last minute note? Is it going to be Hillary Clinton or a Republican? What do you think you're going to do?
I don't know.
You don't know. All right. Well, we will wait and see. I appreciate you taking the time to come on with us this morning.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced out as DNC chair over hacked emails, but one man wants to replace her. Well, he's got email issues of his own. Wait until you hear what he did. Plus, Christmas is 1 week away. Still need a gift for mom? Well, how about a printer that brings your smartphone photos to life? Of course, Clayton's got the gadgets.
Welcome back. Well, with only 2 spots left to fill, Donald Trump is shaping one of the most conservative cabinets in modern history.
That's right. But what does it mean for the economy, and how will it affect you? Here, the perfect guy to break it down for us, the host of Varney and Company on Fox Business Network, Stuart Varney. Good morning.
Good morning. So I'll tell you what it means.
What does it mean?
It is the most conservative cabinet in at least a generation. It means deregulate the economy. It means stimulate the economy. It means grow the economy. That's what we're going to get. That's the hope for the future that the stock market is banking on. That's where we are.
So what liberals are worried about is what they saw in Kansas a few years ago, which is this conservative experiment. I've been reading stories about this over the past few weeks about what liberals are worried about, that this idea we're going to slash taxes, no revenue is going to be coming in. And that was even some concern among conservatives that the government wouldn't have that engine of revenue because of taxes.
Well, hold on a second. Steve Mnuchin is going to the Treasury Department. He's going to shepherd through huge tax cuts for individuals and for business. And in a sense, you're right. When you lower tax rates, initially, the government takes in less money. That's initially. But the whole point of these tax cuts is that eventually, very quickly actually, you start to grow the economy. And as you grow the economy, more people are at work, wages are better, in comes more money to the Treasury, cancels it out. And in fact, you grow Treasury revenues as opposed to shrink them. Now, what this cabinet is going to do is reverse all of the major policy initiatives of President Obama. Tom Price is going to Health and Human Services. He's going to reverse Obamacare. Steve Mnuchin goes to Treasury. He's reversing tax increases. He's going to cut taxes. Scott Pruitt goes to EPA. He's going to reverse costly green regulations. Rick Perry is going to Energy. He's going to reverse restrictions on domestic energy production.
Or close the department.
It's a long list. All this is designed to stimulate the economy, juice it, get some growth there. We've had 2% growth for 8 long years. You've got the prospect now of 4% growth growth in the not too distant future.
But it's not like he hasn't been talking to people from both sides of the aisle. If you were to watch Trump Tower all day long, he's got a lot of liberals going in there talking about energy, talking about economy. So he's clearly wanting to hear both sides, but who he's picking are obviously more conservative.
Well, we've all seen Al Gore, Zeke Emanuel, Rahm Emanuel, Leonardo DiCaprio. People from the left have walked through Trump Tower, given their advice, he's heard their opinion, but Mr. Trump has hired conservatives across the board. It's a very conservative cabinet.
You mentioned energy. How key is unleashing energy to the kind of economy that we need?
It's extremely important. President-elect Trump wants to bring back manufacturing jobs. You can do that if you've got cheap energy inside the United States, specifically cheap electricity. Juice, literally, is very important in the manufacturing process. You bring that price down or control it, and you bring manufacturing back to some degree.
We're out of time, but real quickly, what do you think his biggest hurdle is going to be?
Probably Republicans in Congress who will want to water down some of his stronger policy pronouncements. On tax cuts in particular, you may see the moderate Republicans bounce back a little on that one. Maybe.
I think you're right.
We'll find out very soon. Thank
Yes,
you, Varney.
Great. Stuart Varney.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Great to see you
Thank
this
you.
morning. Thanks, Stuart.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, and Merry Christmas one and all.
What's your favorite Christmas song? Do you have one?
Oh, we got him.
Silent Night.
Ah, it's a good one.
Stille Nacht.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Good choice.
Connoisseur.
Let's not get carried away, Pete.
I do it for Stuart.
All right, we do have some other headlines to get to this morning. We start with this one. A new email scandal for the Democrats as the Secretary of Labor, Tom Perez, throws his name into the ring for DNC chair. According to a series of reports, Perez used a private email account while with the Department of Justice back in 2013. The investigation finding that he likely violated both the spirit and the letter of the Federal Records Act. And now his push for the DNC chair might be over before he can even hit send. And intelligence officials will not brief electors on the extent of Russia's hacking with the election before they cast their ballots for president tomorrow. This after a group of Democratic electors wrote a letter to the Director of National Intelligence. They wanted an explanation on how Russian cyber spies hacked Democratic email accounts and whether they did so to help elect Donald Trump. NPR says the director refused the request late on Friday. And an elementary school cancels its annual Christmas Carol play because it takes too much time out of teaching. But parents claim it was really because two parents complained about this line.
God bless us, everyone.
Christmas Carol. I acted in the Christmas Carol growing up.
Oh, yeah? Who'd you play?
A few different people, but I played Ebenezer Scrooge's little sister. It's a very important role to play.
Very important.
Yes. Critical. Maybe we can get, hopefully there's something in the archives we can pull out from that acting.
Rick Reich News standing by outside. We'll look at the forecast. Hey, man.
Hey, Rick.
Good morning, guys. Warming up a lot across the East Coast. Temporarily, though, big changes coming. Take a look at the maps. We'll talk about what's going on. Here's what it feels like. All that pink, that is the Arctic air that has settled in across parts of the lower 48. It will retreat this week, though. Today's kind of the last day of it. Thankfully, it moves up farther off towards the north in Canada, where we'd like it to be. Still warm down across parts of the southeast. 69 in Atlanta for a couple of more hours. Cold air is on its way. Here you go. Across the northeast, we're going to see the rain move through. Some of the showers could be heavy at times. You'll notice the warmer temperatures and the cooler air behind us. 29 in Cincinnati. Down to the southeast, a little bit of icing, maybe a little bit of snow as the front moves through. We'll certainly see the rain, and then the cooler temperatures only getting to 29 today in Lubbock. You get an idea how cold that air has settled in. How about a high in Duluth, Minnesota of -3? That's your high temperature. You get the idea. The cold has settled in there as well. And even out across the west, Pueblo, Colorado, 18 degrees for a high. Casper, Wyoming, 12. And even Yuma, where it should be a little bit warmer than that this time of year, we're at 62. But we'll see plenty of sunshine across the southwest. All right, guys.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you much, Rick. All right, Loretta Lynch defending the FBI by going after the Clinton campaign. Her message for John Podesta about the Russian hacks just ahead.
Plus, liberals attacking the president-elect for saying this.
Now, look at quickly for your headlines. Holiday Grinches body-slamming Hulk Hogan's Christmas cheer. 4 women caught on camera running up to the former wrestler's Clearwater, Florida mansion. The thieves are scared off by some packages and running off with what's inside. Police are currently searching for those suspects. And a notorious 86-year-old jewel thief is out of jail this morning. Doris Payne just released from jail after promising a judge she won't skip bail. Payne has a lengthy record of jewel heists, arrested more than 20 times around the world. Her criminal career even inspiring a 2013 documentary.
Wow.
Thank you, Pete. Well, President-elect Donald Trump's thank you tour has been filled with lots of holiday cheer.
We are going to say Merry Christmas again. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. I want to start by wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
But some on the left aren't filled with comfort and joy and are suggesting that he may be violating separation of church and state.
For more on this, we turn, of course, to Fox News religion contributor, Father Jonathan Morris.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Father.
Christmas, Father.
So is he violating the Constitution when he says that?
I think what he's saying is something that we all know, no matter what our religion is, that is the non-specific and the impersonal is boring. You know, if I know, Abby, your name is Abby, and I come up and I say, ma'am, how are you? You say, you don't know me? You know, and if I know you're celebrating Christmas, Peter, and I say, happy holidays, you say, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you know I'm celebrating Christmas, say Merry Christmas.
Sure. Right.
This year, Hanukkah, the first day of Hanukkah falls on Christmas Eve, the first time, I think, 38 years. If I know somebody is celebrating Hanukkah, I should say Happy Hanukkah, and that's refreshing. And I think Donald Trump is saying, hey, we've been getting so used to not wanting to offend anybody that we've gone non-specific and totally impersonal.
Let me read this to you. This is Americans United on Trump, and I'll read this quote for you. I'm mollified by the fact that Trump's promise is meaningless because thankfully he has no power to enforce it. Americans celebrate Christmas in many different ways, and some don't celebrate it at all. It's up to each individual to decide, and that's how it should be. So they're offended that
Obviously.
he would say Merry Christmas to an audience.
Well, they're saying it's a violation of church and
But
state.
you know what?
Right?
Now his language sometimes is rather unspecific, and I think he does it on purpose, and it's kind of funny. He says, we are going to start saying Merry Christmas again. It does sound like, well, maybe he's trying to enforce it. We know he's not trying to enforce it. Even in his own family, his daughter is Jewish, his son-in-law is Jewish, his grandchildren are Jewish. He's not trying to enforce it, but he's using very unspecific language, which we know is Donald Trump language, and it's funny. And I think he knows it's funny, and he's saying, don't be afraid to be specific and personal.
I remember growing up, not even having to think about this. It was just a simple Merry Christmas. You know, Christmas Carol I was mentioning earlier, I acted in that play. That was just a part of my growing up experience. And I feel like we're always reading stories about a different school struggling to figure out the balance or even going overboard the other way to make sure that everyone feels respected. And I worry about kids growing up in a world like that.
Well, it's natural that the pendulum does swing, and so there's probably been times in our past in which we haven't been respectful, especially in public schools, for example, of people of other religious traditions than our own, right? If, let's say, there's a public school with there's 100 kids who are Christian and 20 of them are Muslim. Of course, we need to be respectful, not to impose on those 20 what they must do in terms of religion. But there's got to be a balance. And I say, congratulate somebody on Ramadan and say, I hope you have a holy, beautiful, peaceful Ramadan.
And what you're saying is there's a difference between freedom of religion and freedom from religion.
Well, what do our founding documents say? It's very specific. There's no establishment of religion, so we don't want Donald Trump saying everybody must celebrate Christmas in their home, and then there should be no law made to prohibit free exercise of religion. That's what our founding documents say. Let's do it and be unafraid of being specific and personal.
I want you to be specific.
Clayton.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Santa Claus is coming to town.
I don't believe you.
Great answer,
I don't
Father.
believe you.
Okay, that's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true. Maybe Holy Night or something.
That's a beautiful one.
Think hard on it. We'll ask you next week.
Father John,
All right,
thank
coming
you.
up here on the show, Colin Kaepernick disrespects the national anthem and then collects millions from the NFL. But when a coach kneels at a game during prayer, he gets in serious trouble. That coach joins us live next hour.
And wondering what to do with all of your extra vacation days, Francesca Page has the top destinations for a quick winter getaway. There she is. Come on in. It's just around the corner, and if you're looking for a way to use up those extra vacation days before they slip away, we have got you covered here with some travel tips for a quick winter getaway. Travel guru and lifestyle expert Francesca Page. Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is the time of year where people are seeing sometimes last minute. They've got some of those extra days they need to use. If you have like 3 to 5 days.
Yes.
You want to get away.
Yes.
What are your options?
I would definitely suggest going somewhere on the warmer West Coast, like Los Angeles, do a little city break over there. It's a great option because with almost 300 days of sunshine per year, visitors to Los Angeles are guaranteed to have gorgeous weather. It's also a shopper's paradise with holiday deals, making it the optimum time to find steals anywhere from the Grove to Westfield Shopping Mall to Venice's Abbot Kinney. And if you want to find out where to stay, you can go to discoverlosangeles.com.
Oh, I am sold. Okay, so if you've got a little bit longer, let's say a full week.
Yes.
And you want to have just a nice experience away.
Yeah, you want to relax, unwind. I suggest looking at the British Virgin Islands. They're a great option because they provide that private island feeling without having to go too far.
Look at that. That is so beautiful.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. A couple of my favorites there are Scrub Island, which is known for its full-service relaxation, as well as Cooper Island, which is known for its eco-friendly beach resort and its rum bar. But there's so much to do there. Kiteboarding, paddleboarding, just get a painkiller cocktail from the famous Soggy Dollar Bar there.
That looks like paradise. Okay, so not everyone is as lucky, but some people will get 2 to 3 weeks away. That sounds lovely. So what are the best options for a long
Definitely consider going abroad. Think about doing a European river cruise. Uniworld River Cruises is a great option because it allows you to explore the towns and countrysides of Europe whilst being on this elegant, all-inclusive ship. They have a wonderful cruise coming up, which is the Enchanting Christmas and New Year's Cruise. It leaves from Bavaria on December 23rd and 11 days takes you up to Budapest, where you can ring in the new year with an elegant gala dinner and ballroom dancing.
That sounds amazing. It's a perfect mix, too, of relaxation, but also learning about different cultures and having a lot of fun.
Exactly.
So my husband, no matter where we go for on vacation, he's always working. Yeah. So you have some tools to help people that need to work but are also still trying to enjoy time away.
I do. One in particular, which means you won't feel bad taking days off or falling off the map, so to speak. It's called GoTenna. It allows you to send and receive text messages and use GPS location services without the need of Wi-Fi or cell service. It's a small device. It connects via Bluetooth to your cell and will allow you to communicate with other GoTenna users. And right now, you can get it for $20 off if you go to foxgotenna.com. Great stocking stuffer.
That is great. So you can get it on sale now.
Yep.
Right? That is, and you could use that wherever you go.
Yep, absolutely.
That is huge. That sounds amazing. Okay, well, I'm going to have to start thinking about maybe utilizing a few extra days.
There you go. There you go.
Thanks for being here. Are you going anywhere fun?
I am. I'm going to Florida, and then I'm going to be going back to the British Virgin Islands again.
Beautiful. It's like 85 in Florida right now.
Yes.
Enjoy that for all of us. Thanks, Francesca.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, President-elect Trump not letting the rain put a damper on his thank you tour last night.
And it's going to start to pour. I will stay out here. The hell with the suit, right? And I never liked this suit anyway, so we'll throw it away after.
Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. It is December 18th. I'm Abby Huntsman, and President-elect Trump taking on the weather and the media during his thank you tour.
This guy is demented. He's a demented person. And that's why the Times is failing. And it's going to start to pour. I will stay out here. The hell with the suit, right?
More from Mobile, Alabama, just ahead.
Plus, Democrats mounting a last-ditch effort to convince electors not to vote for President-elect Trump. But Attorney General Loretta Lynch just killed their momentum, and all it took was one sentence that we're going to share with you.
And exactly 1 week until Christmas morning, what song are you singing? Clayton Morris on Twitter. Do you like Wham's Last Christmas? That's my favorite Christmas song. It's a little cheesy, it's a little 80s, but it's great.
I think we need like an 80s video, though, to go along with it.
I'm a little cheesy, and it's very cheesy. Perfect. Here's another song. We want you to vote.
Oh, see, it's got to go with a classic 80s video,
This
right?
is the video. This
I
is the
mean,
MTV
this is so good. I love our producers. Guys, well done.
Where's George Michael in that? So we want you to say that your favorite Christmas song this morning. Vote on it. Send us in. We'll play some of yours. Yours is
We won't judge.
Baby It's Cold Outside.
Baby It's Cold Outside.
Mine is Anything Aaron Neville.
But you don't even know the words to it. We've tried.
No, I know the words. They just started it in the middle of the song. I was lost.
Rick had some weird mall song. I don't know what it was. It was like for his
Macy's song.
It was like some Macy's. It was like an elevator song.
You even admitted it was a mall song.
And we're going to ask Chris Wallace what his favorite song is coming up. We're going to He doesn't know that, but we will ask him.
Now he does.
But so we do have some politics, though, to get to. And of course, we'll keep playing your songs as you send them in throughout the morning. But President-elect Trump was doing his final thank you tour stop last night in Mobile, Alabama. It was pouring rain at one point. He said, to hell with it. I'm just going to keep the suit on. We'll throw it out later. But he was having some fun with it, talking about Merry Christmas and bringing that back as he's been doing on all of his stops.
Yeah. Well, this stop, of course, you guys remember during the primary, a lot of us were scratching our heads. I mean, look, every pundit was like, why is he spending time in Alabama? He had that massive rally. People were saying, have you ever seen a rally this large? So when he was there last night, he was reminding people, he said, this is where it all started.
Yeah, he pointed out that, the movement sort of became evident in Alabama. Jeff Sessions was there from the beginning, who was also there last night. As you said, he pointed out policy positions. He talked about election night and how everybody got it wrong and they got it right. But he also took some time to criticize and push back on the failing New York Times and a reporter there who decided to take him on directly yesterday with a tweet that a lot of people are calling, well, they're calling it a lot of things, and Mr. Trump had a word for it too. But this is what Paul Krugman, the columnist and economist at the New York Times, tweeted yesterday. He said, thought there was rightly, this is what he said, rightly a cloud of illegitimacy over Bush. This is after he was elected. Dispelled wrongly by 9/11. He's saying, the country wrongly unified behind him. This creates some interesting incentives for Trump.
So incentives, what? Stoke some sort of war in order to unite the country. Here's what Donald Trump had to say about the failing New York Times, as he put it. Listen.
And it's going to start to pour. I will say out here, to hell with the suit, right? I never liked this suit anyway. They had a clown today in the failing New York Times who said that I wanted to have another World Trade Center catastrophe because it's good for my base. Can you believe this? What kind of a demented person would say that? Now think of it. Thousands of people killed. And this guy is demented. He's a demented person. And that's why the Times is failing. And I went up to see him 3 weeks ago. I gave it a shot. And I had a great meeting. Everybody said I did great. Everything was great. But they'll never change. They'll never change, Jeff, no matter what you do.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the story that you're going to hear from the liberal media over the next few days, it's what everyone's talking about on the left, which is that the electors, the Electoral College vote is tomorrow. So could Hillary Clinton end up becoming president tomorrow with some of the shifting electors? 36 of them have to shift their
You're right.
vote.
We're going to be hearing about this constantly for the next 24 hours because there are a lot of people, a lot of Democrats that are going to fight as hard as they possibly can to try to change some of the electors' votes. And we've been talking to some of those electors around the country saying they have been getting death threats, thousands and thousands of emails sent directly to them and to their families. It's gotten really, really ugly. And you're just wondering, at what point do you just say, let's just say the election has passed. Let's just accept it for what it is.
Exactly. To what end? I mean, the news reports show that they need 36 people to change. So far, one has maybe shown an inclination to change. So the numbers are not in their favor. But the mainstream media, if you watch other networks, they're covering this 24/7 like it's another election tomorrow. Right. When this is a standard process in our Constitution, the electors vote in their state capitals. And as of right now, there's no indication that it will change other than one or two on either side, which means it's a non-story. I mean, Donald J. Trump is going to be your president come Monday. This is basically, want to talk about fake news? This feels like a fake news story to me. It's not a real story. It's not going to happen. Well, yet the left is going nuts. And John Podesta, they've been aided by people very close to the Clinton campaign.
Right, and he's talking about fake news. He believes that the report in the New York Times about what the CIA and the FBI had uncovered during the email scandal, Russians being involved, he thought that this was fake. He thinks that this was a conspiracy, that they knew that they should have done something about it, and that James Comey's letter at the last minute was a problem. Here's what Podesta wrote yesterday in an opinion piece. The election is over and damage is done. But the threat from Russia and other potential aggressors remains urgent and demands a serious and sustained response. The administration should brief members of the Electoral College on the extent and the manner of Russia's interference in our election before they vote on December 19th.
So that has been denied thus far. It's not going to happen for those 10 or so electors that requested it.
And the interesting player in all of this is, of course, Loretta Lynch, who has been tied throughout this entire time because she was over this investigation over Hillary Clinton's emails. And remember, right before her decision came out, she was seen meeting with President Bill Clinton on the tarmac, which had a lot of people scratching their heads. And people were saying back then that there was a lot of just miscommunication or frustration behind the scenes. Does she agree with what James Comey ultimately did when he brought the investigation back up? She was on CNN last night. She was actually standing by what James Comey did. Here's what she said.
First of all, the investigation isn't even over, so I think it's impossible to characterize it in any one way or the other. You know, again, I don't know where Mr. Podesta is obtaining information.
You said the New York Times. There's a big, long New York Times story that I'm sure you read.
So, and I know also because of his involvement with the campaign, he's going to have a certain interest in this and a certain view of that. And so, I allow him his opinion. Everyone has a great deal of respect for him, so I allow him that opinion. But I disagree with that if that is in fact the characterization he's trying to make.
So he's falling in line with Hillary Clinton, whose statements the other night at that donor event where she said, this is one of the reasons I lost. The James Comey letter in the last minute changed some swing state voters, and that's why I lost these swing states.
That's exactly right. And she's smacked back John Podesta's assertion that it was the Russians and we need to investigate all this. She's saying, hey, we've looked at this. There's a lot of uncertainty. You know, of course, no one thinks our system should be manipulated or hacked, but we know the vote count wasn't hacked. Right. So when it comes to the Electoral College, let's move past this. I think there are some Democrats and officials in government who realize this is not a real thing. Let's move past it. And then others who are grasping at straws.
If you're John Podesta, of course you don't want your email. No one wants their emails public. I mean, that's just a terrible situation for anyone to be in. That being said, I think what we found in those WikiLeaks was I think highlighted the concerns that so many American people had about Hillary Clinton and what was going on behind the scenes in their campaign. But at this point, you know, we got to move on.
Well, I mean, the president's moved on. He's in Hawaii playing golf right now. He's like, I'm not putting the election's over, folks. I'm out of here.
And the
17 days.
Mele Kalikimaka. I'm out of here in Hawaii.
That's right.
All right, we do have some other headlines to get to this morning, and we start with a sad one, a Fox News alert. And a day of celebration turning deadly. One woman is killed and 5 others injured when a massive tree crashes right onto a wedding party as they were taking their pictures. Among those injured, a 4-year-old girl fighting for her life this morning.
It was like a scene in a movie where the tree is slowly coming down and you just see whoever was under it running straight through it, not moving to the side.
At least 20 people were trapped by fallen branches. Firefighters believe it may have been weakened from a 5-year drought. And then to some extreme weather, it continues this morning. Deadly ice-covered roads and heavy snow hammering the Midwest, causing hundreds of car wrecks. And in Baltimore, a deadly 67-car pileup, killing 2 people, including the driver of a tanker that exploded when it flipped over. The storms have killed 13 people since Tuesday. And China plans to return the U.S. drone that it blatantly stole from international waters. The Pentagon saying a Chinese Navy ship snatched it from the South China Sea near the Philippine coast just before U.S. forces were going to retrieve it. The drone carried no intelligence, and it's still unclear when it will be returned. And then Trump, of course, tweeting this: we should tell China that we don't want the drone that they stole back. Let them keep it. And then there's this, a joyous and tear-filled holiday reunion for a military family after a secret Santa helps reunite a mother and her son just in time for Christmas.
Just to have him home, our family's very close, so to have him home for Christmas is just, it's the world. It's the best gift we could absolutely receive.
So sweet. 19-year-old Austin Freeney has been training with the Army in Fort Benning, Georgia, and getting home to New Jersey for Christmas wasn't even in the budget this year. The Freeney family tried selling things and raising money on GoFundMe, but it still was not enough until a total stranger stepped in and bought Austin a plane ticket back home to be with his family.
It's true.
So sweet.
Love it.
Get out of Fort Benning. Get out of Fort Benning.
All right, your responses are pouring in this morning. We asked you, friends at foxnews.com, your favorite Christmas songs of all time.
Yes.
And so here's an email from Julie this morning. She says, one of my favorite Christmas songs, we'll roll the tape, is Santa's Back in Town.